All right, we continue now with our legal panel. All right, I'm going to give you a chance here, and I'll give you a minute, which is not a lot of time in TV, but it's a lot of time in TV, not a lot of time in reality. Make your best case. Peter will respond, and she can respond.
I think jurors always wish that lawyers only had a minute. Okay, in a minute. I start with the duct tape, as I said before. So you know that there's murder, whether you believe that it was premeditated or that she was trying to quiet the child. That's murder. Then you have to look at who did it. That's the only thing that matters. And I think the key there is Casey's car. Don't forget, she abandons that car. Why does she abandon that car? Well, look what we find out. And the most important, strong piece of evidence about what was in the back of that car, it was when Cindy calls the police when she realizes that her granddaughter has been missing for 31 days. She calls and says, my baby is gone. My daughter says she's been taken, and the car smells like there's a dead body in there. Then you start to put the other pieces. Then you have the cadaver dog. Then you have George. You may think George is incredible for other reasons, but when pieces of what he says are corroborated, I think you take those pieces as truth when you couple the other things. You have the hair that also comes to him. One hair, but
one piece of hair.
But it's not just one piece of evidence. It's one piece of hair. And then you have the chloroform. Then you have the search for chloroform. And then you have all of Casey's behavior.
Search for chloroform, impeached, contradicted 100 different ways, and not 84 times.
But to me, it's all pieces of a puzzle that only come to one thing.
Search for justice here. All kinds of reasonable doubt. Duct tape, no DNA. Car, irrelevant. The child died. We all know that. Chloroform, not proven through peer-reviewed methods. Hair, not proven through peer-reviewed methods. Shaky, incredible witnesses, potentially lying about a mistress, potentially lying about chloroform searches, and a motive that somehow this woman was going to be freed because she was tethered to this beautiful child and she wanted to free herself. What day did the child die? Where exactly? How? How through junk science? We don't know the answers.
That's a good point.
Reasonable doubt.
Ultimately, the
fantasy
state was
forensics, as they call it.
The state was not able to answer the question, which I think when the jurors talked to us was most important. How did Kaylee die? And why weren't they able to answer it? That's because Casey is so smart. Her mind is so nimble. Like the prosecution told you, she lied. She misled this investigation.
Saying I work at Universal, like you can't figure that out in 5 seconds?
She misled the investigation. By the time the body was found, all the forensic evidence,
the nanny, is smart?
All the forensic evidence was gone,
no,
Sean, and they were not able to answer the question of how did Kaylee die.
All right, now I got a question for all of you. Why do I walk away from all of that I watched, and why am I looking at her father more seriously? Peter.
You're looking at her father more seriously in terms of...
I want him to answer questions.
Complicit in some way?
I think something happened.
Because there was no confidence in terms of believability, in terms of his testimony. And we know, and it's a maxim in American law and in Anglo-Saxon law, that if you're lying about one thing, then maybe you're lying about some or all other things.
Do you agree with my suspicion at all?
I do agree, and I think that was something that a jury was looking at. I don't know exactly what is in my heart on that, but it's an uneasy feeling.
And you'll be shocked that I don't agree with you there, and here's why.
And you're a great prosecutor, by the way. I respect your views. I really go ahead.
And I respect yours. But I just think there are different ways of looking at it. But when I think you look at George, I understand the credibility issue, but I think he's a credibility issue when it comes to that affair. I don't necessarily believe him, and I think that's where things started to fall apart. When you watch that guy on the stand, they'll fall apart as he is giving such damaging testimony against his daughter. He does not want to be there, and I think all his actions leading up to it are of a man who is searching for his granddaughter, wanting to believe in his daughter, but in his heart of hearts knowing what happened. So I think you can trust him.
I think he made a mistake lying about the affair, but I understand. I don't think he was lying about anything else. I think he was nothing but a doting grandfather, and he's one of the biggest victims. You don't lie.
She got caught red-handed lying. I think I'm beginning to think that something horrible happened and that they all know about it.
At this point, I'm beginning to think that we need to get behind our jury system.
Oh, I'm with you.
We've had a jury trial. Let's move ahead.
The attacks against the jury are so unfair.
Let's move away from vigilante justice.
I agree completely.
All right, guys, really great panel tonight. Really appreciate you being with us. That's all the time we have left. Greta's next, and we will be back tomorrow night.